water, earth, fire, air.
It's not even in order. Oh, God.
Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Welcome back, everybody, to Revisited, the Nerd Schooled production. It's a Nerd Schooled product, I guess you could say.
We're associated.
Nerd school teaching. We're schooling you guys.
That works. The show where me and my friends, we get together and we nerd out and rank everything in a specific franchise, which, of course, today is still Avatar the Last Airbender, except this time we're talking about book 2. So if you haven't seen the first book, go back and watch that episode.
You can click right here. You can click right here.
On his face.
On my face.
Click on his face.
Now I have to.
You can. They won't do anything, but you can.
It'll just pause.
Sorry, future editor, and we know exactly who she is. You gotta click right here.
Of course, I am your host, Winston Corona, joined by...
I'm Frank Gonzalez.
I'm Winston Corona.
I'm Chris Tatum.
I said what was
You should have said you were 50.
I forgot the 50 joke. Yeah.
Started over.
Sorry, we forgot the
Cut
50.
that.
Editor, cut that. She
We'll
doesn't
have
get paid.
to we'll have to edit in your voice and make it sound like you said I'm 50.
Here, we'll cut it in isolation. Ready?
50?
He's 50.
He's 50.
Okay.
Just say 50.
50. Yeah, that's it.
This is Mary.
Nobody understands that joke, by the way.
No, if you go watch College Humor. You'll get it once you
Click
watch.
right here to go to the episode of College Humor.
I'm not doing that. Oh, man. Well, let's get it started, guys. Chris, how many times have you seen book 2 of Avatar the Last Airbender? Did anything change rewatching it?
Last time I said I've seen I think it would be the same amount because I try to watch all the seasons within order. I revisit a lot of the same episodes from season 1 more, so I would say I've seen that season, I guess, more, but about 4 times now. This one did change a lot for me. I felt the the way that they utilize earthbending.
Yeah.
And the different thought methods and process that goes into earthbending. It's not so just structured, where in the first season, you kind of just see it as like, oh, they're just throwing rocks and, building a wall or going into the earth. This one, you're like, no, it's with the character that we'll talk about. She's actually moving fluidly and using it almost as Katara would her water bending or Aang her air bending.
Very natural.
It's very natural. Where the other structures or the other types of earth bending, we see does seem a lot more like strength and physically just throwing rocks at you. So it was, at least for me, much more of a natural, fluid way of earth bending, which I liked. Other than King Boomy, I will say when they did King Boomy, that felt natural and that fight was awesome.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Frank, how many times have you seen book 2? Did anything change rewatching it?
It's just like book 1, this is my second time revisiting it, and it's been a while.
Been a while.
This changed for me too, because just like with book 1, it's a lot more informative. I feel a lot more emotionally invested and connected, especially with this one, because like all good stories, the middle chapter doesn't end happy, and there's a lot that goes into how that happens.
This is definitely the Empire.
Yeah, this is definitely the Empire Strikes Back 2 Towers of the series, and it's done thoughtfully that way. Like there is small moral triumphs, but you can definitely see the seeds of like the full hero's journey, whether it's Aang or Katara or any of them coming together. You get the full impact of that, where all of our leading cast, they don't walk away from this going, this went great. Like, especially in those last 4 episodes, like stuff really goes wrong. And part of it is things that they will and we'll talk about it in book 3, but you would assume they would say, oh, we have to resolve these conflicts.
Yep.
We have to change these things before we can really face the truer enemies head on. And that's a good sign within like a full narrative of good storytelling. And so I was very much into this. It'd be interesting when because I'm not fully done with book 3 personally, but in this nebulous space of not a date and time that we're not talking about, I'd be interested to see whether that trumps this one or this is in fact my favorite of the 3.
Interesting.
Which is, we'll go over it,
Yeah.
but I kind of put that out in front. Empire Strikes Back is my favorite. Two Towers is my favorite, although personally it's also Fellowship for a lot of reasons, but still Two Towers, like story-wise, is my favorite. Terminator 2,
I don't know
Aliens, like the second stories are usually, when they're better, they're that much better. And this is one of them for me right now, having revisited it.
Yeah, I don't know
Well-
what franchises you were talking about. Like, I've never seen those.
You've never seen any of
We'll
those
get into
things?
those other franchises later. One of those franchises, the second one, I do not agree with. Two Towers, but that's okay.
And like I said, I will pull back and do Fellowship for it, but I think story-wise,
Okay.
yeah.
No, it's
Interesting.
You're right. It's cool.
Well,
I joke. I
Yeah.
joke.
How many times have you seen book 2? Did anything change your watching?
This is my 4th time. It's still as good as I remember it.
Cool. Cool. Brief but sweet.
Nothing else to say on that matter.
Got a lot of info from that one.
It's about the things she didn't say.
Let's get into ranking things. So, I added a new entry on this list because I think it very much applies. World building.
Yes.
Do we think that book 2 is better at world building than book 1?
Oh yes, I will agree with that a lot. With like what he says, Empire Strikes Back. Same for me. I don't know if you'll ever guess, but we are big Star Wars fans. Empire Strikes Back is my second one, and also
What's Star Wars?
Star Wars?
Hi,
Never
I'm
heard of
Frank.
it.
nice to meet you, Chris. Oh, I'm Frank. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Winnie. Yeah.
This is amazing.
The world building in this, because you get the Lotus, the
The White Lotus.
the white. Thank you. Sorry, I was thinking Red Lotus. That's a different series that we don't know anything about.
Right?
Korra.
Oh, I forgot all about that. Dude.
Yeah, it's okay. It's
We'll
okay.
get there.
We'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get
get there. For right now, what? Korra?
I don't know who that is.
Katara. That's what I meant.
There
Katara.
you go. Okay.
Very similar.
I don't know what that has to do with the,
Yeah.
the Red Lotus, but sure.
That in and of itself, that there is a secret organization, or at least some type of secret organization, does say that there's something larger than what we are seeing within this world. And I thought that was amazing. That, you know, it's a court of owls or its own. We don't know anything about that either. Its own thing.
Uh-huh.
So that there's something always going on behind the scenes is a great thing of world building. So watch out for the behind the scenes.
Allow me to put some doctor in my mouth.
Hey.
The doctor in the mouth.
He was delicious. It's like choke on him.
Choke on the doctor.
Okay. In addition to world building, I would even say there's a good amount of character building that continues to happen.
You just mentioned the White Lotus. Honestly, Uncle Iroh, he shines in this. But I am so anxious for the next
We'll
one.
talk about Uncle.
Right. Do you want to bring the mind-bending fact about him? Because I wanted to talk about that in this character building section.
The mind-bending fact about Uncle Iroh. Mind-bending fact, please. Mako, who played Uncle Iroh, passed away in the middle of recording.
Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And it's very tragic because he really did a great job. With
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes.
His
We'll get
parts for the last 7 episodes of season 2. He passed during the middle of recording his parts for the last 7 episodes of season 2. They had to quickly recast the part of Iroh. The recasting put a halt to production on season 3. Mako's part was succeeded by Greg Baldwin in the 3rd season. Very sad, and man, listening to that soundtrack as well as oh god, it is.
By the
it
way, I
always
do have to
hits.
say, you almost cannot tell, at least for me. I mean, I can pick it up a little bit here and there with some of the words and stuff, but Greg Baldwin does a great Ira.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly,
Because he does the monologue.
Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to talk about. Pull it into the narrative. That monologue sets the tone for the second half of the season. That monologue of, you know, not just not understanding, because we're getting into more specificity with the bending, and this is the lightning bending that he's trying to instruct Zuko about, and the way he describes how it's not just the anger, but you have to have now like a cold precision.
Yeah.
And you learn later in the story about what happened with his child, and how now this identifies why he's so good at it, and how it rings. You're like, oh man, that monologue just nails an ideal. It nails the definition of Iroh.
Yeah.
And this is a new performer performing it. And I don't know if that was the first thing he ever recorded, but it's certainly among the first thing he's done with a new character. It felt as if nothing had changed, because nothing had changed. It was just the full progression of a character. Like, we weren't getting something new. We were getting something like unburied and uncovered and discovered for us the first time,
Yes.
but something that's always been there.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
And honestly,
And it built the world a little bit too.
Exactly, yeah.
But it built that character so much more, and you can see how it arcs out, because you could see it affect how Zuko now thinks, because he's moving forward, because he has his own damages. I don't want to say full on demons, but their own like scars that he can totally relate to, even though he's fighting.
the blue demon.
That's
That's a blue
it's
spirit.
blue spirits.
Oh, never mind.
no, but like honestly, out of what you were talking about, I think that's one of my favorite things that this world does, is that somehow they make it feel like, yes, you're discovering this for the first time, and I think they do that well because one of the characters is also discovering for the first time, but also it has this feeling of this has always existed, you know, like even like the White Lotus. Uncle Iroh could have made that group, but it feels like an ancient group that has passed down from generations, like, you know, the secret organization, and it's super cool.
Yeah. Also in the world building, it is not everyone is good and the Fire Nation is bad, because there's so many more introductions to Earthbenders who are just as bad as anyone there, and they're not nameless faces. We actually put names to their faces, and it stands out because they are like darkly cruel. We've had this we had the previous antagonists of the General Zhao, and Zuko, for what it's worth, he's definitely an adversary, but they were either a little bit one-dimensional in Zhao's case, which is nothing wrong with that, but you want that out of a first villain, or Zuko being so on the fence about different things, and you could see the hero in him as well as the villain. They are very dark, these girls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it really shines, and all of them do it well. The voice actors bring it, the animation brings it.
Oh,
but-
Azula and them?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Azula's Fire Nation, but May is not.
Yep.
No, Mace, Fire Nation.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the
Tylee.
third one?
Tylee,
Thank you.
Fire Nation too.
She's Fire Nation too.
All
So,
three of them are Fire
But
Nation.
she's traveling with the circus.
okay, thank you.
That's a Fire Nation ship. So,
But still, you see Earthbenders who are bad.
Quick mind bending
And she
fact.
doesn't even bend.
Yeah, true.
she can block chi.
Block chief.
Quick mind bending fact about Azula. Azula was originally thought of as a boy in the early writing stages. The writers quickly realized, though,
White-
that having Zuko and a brother feuding throughout the series would have been too reminiscent of Cain and Abel. So she was gender swapped to his sister. Tylee was supposed to be the character's love interest, but some of this characterization still remains in the show, though, as Tylee constantly kisses up to Azula and worships her. The in-universe justification is that because Tylee is canonically terrified of Azula, she's constantly trying her best not to get on that side.
Nice.
Which, yeah, that's that dynamic. Like, even when you're like first introduced to it, is like it's cool because yeah, these girls they are dark,
Yeah.
but they're all doing things for kind of like their own reasons, you know.
Sure.
And like Azula is definitely the darkest out of the three, but
I love the fact that they all have different ways of combating and being specialists within those types of fighting styles.
Sure.
You have Ty Lee, who we just said was a chi blocker,
Yeah.
and she could use her fists. We have May, who was a specialist in like throwing and using weapons, like Sokka, but even more proficient in throwing weapons and stuff like that, to the point where she could pin people down 10 times her size to a wall, which I thought was a really great way of combating someone who could firebend or waterbend. You could throw a dagger at them and that would be something surprising. And so I really enjoyed that going into season 2 a lot. The new ways of people who can't use bendings to combat people who do have bendings. We see the rough rhinos who one of the guys literally is strapped with explosives and that's all he does.
Yep.
Which I was like, how can you fight someone who just throws grenades at you? And they're all different specialists within their group to just be able to take on people. So I thought that was great.
I think that they do that way
Speaking
better.
of world building.
Yeah, way better than like another, world that some of us might know something about, Naruto. Where if like in Naruto, if you don't know how to use
We don't say
chakra,
the N word here.
yeah, we did mention this last. I forgot about that.
So make sure to bleep that out.
In that world, if you can't use chakra, you're practically worthless.
Right.
But
They're
in this,
garbage.
you can't.
Yeah,
you can't-
Lee.
No, Lee uses chakra. Don't go after my boy Lee.
Of course you would like. No, I'm joking. I love Lee. He's amazing. He's the only character that you could actually qualify saying he uses the power of friendship to destroy every enemy, and it's amazing.
But yeah,
This one's
in
the bowl cut. Kind of looks like this.
Oh,
but
broccoli. Okay. I don't know him as Lee. I know him as broccoli.
in this though, they
Not
do
that
a good job of it. Like, oh, you don't know how to bend, you can still be a formidable. You know?
Yeah.
And even like they do very good in this series as well. Like you think, oh, the Avatar, he can bend all. He's just gonna be OP all the time, But it's like almost the opposite, That they always find a way to make Aang have like
be on his toes.
yes that, but also there's
A
weight.
disadvantage.
There's weight there too. There could be a loss, There's not every fight that you go into. Oh, he's gonna win automatically.
They have to talk about the balance.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it does a good job world building of creating that balance. I was going to point out the balance struck world wise. The girls all show that form of cold precision that Zuko doesn't, but they show it in such a like borderline psychotic way.
Yeah.
May's reaction, because May is now I have to check because I thought one of them earthbender for some reason, and now my brain is blown. But she didn't have any. She just blocks the chakra. Or nope, she blocks G.
That's
She
not
blocks.
May. That's
That's-
No, and that's time. But I'm saying May is the one with the little brother.
yes.
Okay, she didn't care.
No, yeah.
True.
She didn't care at all.
No, yeah.
Azula later, when you find out how little she cared about losing her cousin, just nothing. She didn't care about her uncle. She didn't care about anything, and didn't care about the mom. Nothing. It was one of those. It's like, oh, okay, they actually have what Zuko doesn't have, but they don't use it the way that Zuko could. And there's that balance, and since they're imbalanced, that's why they're bad.
Oh, I see.
And it's interesting that Aang himself can walk down that road, because they talk about the balance of being in the Avatar state. And if he dies in the Avatar state, there's no more Avatars. Or later on, his own mental deficiency, he can't go to the Avatar state when he's overly concerned about Katara. And so he has to make choices that dictate when and how a thing happens, with arguably at this moment the most powerful thing he can do. Or even just his reluctance during learning how to earthbend to have a direct attack. All of these things are, hey, the thing that you didn't know you needed to do, or the thing you've always avoided, is the thing that will actually bring you balance. And I love that that's a kind of a recurring theme that helps build the world, because without the balance of the other elements in play, you could see why the Fire Nation has the power that it has by the end of this, and the devastation that that brings. You get that heavy moment when they're flying away at the end. And you're like, okay, because things are so unbalanced.
Yep. Well, and then on a like completely other side of world building, of course we get introduced to the Earth Kingdom. Like in general, yeah, we kind of went to the Earth Kingdom with King Boomy in the last one, but this one we get to see Boss Say. We get to see another Earth city. No, yeah, the one
The small one with where they go and they put him on trial. Isn't that also an Earth City?
Oh,
Oh,
yes, that
I
is.
guess,
Yes,
that is.
yes.
I was thinking Toph, where they go find Toph, because that's not.
Isn't that? But that's the big city.
That's
It's not the
Bump.
big city.
That's
Okay.
not
That's not.
Bump.
Bump. Yeah, that's outside of Umashu or something like that.
Ah,
Because
I see.
they go to the swamp. Spoilers, and that's when he.
Reviewing it.
That's when he.
That's when he sees her in the vision.
Yes,
That's right.
That's when he goes on a. I don't know. What would you call it when a guy goes into a dark jungle forest thing and sees a vision, and he only takes what he carries with him? Like a
Vision quest?
quest.
Is that one of the markers of the hero's journey?
Could be. Since we were talking about
Star Wars.
Just Star Wars.
Oh, it's a swamp. They're both swamps.
Yeah. They went to Dagobah. I got it.
May's little brother. This is another mind-bending fact for you.
Tom.
Tom-Toms. That's right. Only 5 characters of.
They was Tom.
Only 5 of the characters.
Did I pronounce the
Huh?
which
No,
emphasis?
I'm reacting to something else.
Oh, okay. I was like, should I be emphasizing the other Tom?
No,
Tom.
it's Tom Tom.
Tom.
No, it's Tom Tom.
Tom.
Think like
Tom.
an Asian.
Ta-ta.
Only 5
Tom-Tom.
of the characters throughout the series have their age explicitly mentioned. Aang is 112, although only 12 biologically. Zuko and Yue are 16. Toph is 12, and Tom-Tom's May's brother is 2. It's also mentioned that by Ty Lee, that May is 15 years older than her brother, which would make her 17. Canonically, May is only 15 years old though, which would mean that Ty Lee's line is a writing error. Besides Aang, at least 2 other characters are over 100 years old. Boomy, who knew Aang before he was frozen, and Guru Patik, who knew Monkey Yatsu. Certain pieces of information from various episodes also imply that Fire Lord Sozin lived for about 100 years, and Avatar Kyoshi had lived for 230 years. Avatar Kuruk died at the age of 33, and that makes him the shortest lived Avatar ever.
What a quitter.
Ooh.
Ouch. Shots fired.
I wanted to say, in terms of the age with Tom Tom and May, for example, in South Korea, they do ages differently. So they're technically 2 years. For them, they add like another 2 years because they include different things like lunar cycles and how, like, when you were in the womb. So for them over there, they add 2 extra years. I don't know if they had thought about that and then they just accidentally wrote it in that she's 17 by Asian standards. I don't know, because they have a lot of Chinese influences. So I don't know.
I could
Could be.
also just equate this because dumb teenager might have just did the math wrong.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or just intimated that she's 15 years older than him.
Yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
took that, would have taken or understood that.
Yeah.
Also, what if Ty Lee doesn't really know how old this guy is?
Yeah, true.
True.
Yeah.
Also, it's not real.
What?
No, I'm pretty sure it's real.
I thought we were watching a documentary.
We are? Shit. You guys
I
see
tried to
me
waterbend
talking,
yesterday.
man.
In the shower at work. Waterbend the shit.
Yeah,
'Cause
though-
it's going.
Yeah, because like when it hits you at a certain point,
It's like-
it looks like water's going out through your.
Yeah. Anyways,
Try it. Give
let's
it a try.
let's
Give it a
rank
try.
world
Take a
building.
shower. Give it a try.
Give it a try and then tell us in the comments if you've done it before.
World building. So, are we all in consensus that part 2 is above part 1?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. I don't think there's any
I was
new
gonna say 100%.
100% chance.
100%.
Chance, indeed.
Yes.
Not about
Die.
100%. Maybe like 90%.
90%.
7%.
Because they gave us a lot about the like
Was there a
air
number
temples in the last
It's
season.
good.
That's true.
That is
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Pardon? Sorry, I
A
was
lot of air temple.
Air temple
information
stuff.
in book 1.
better. Yeah.
It's not like world building doesn't exist in the
No.
first one, but they really upped the game.
Yeah.
Second.
And that's why, well, I guess we'll get to it, but I like book 1 feels like at the first half of it is like definitely a kid's show, and then second half of it it's like, okay, we're getting somewhere, but second one you're in it, all the way the whole time. So
You
any waterbenders that you guys might want to rank? Maybe the swamp people.
yeah. We definitely are we gonna rank just for season 2 or are we adding
no.
rankings from season 1?
So we're adding to the list.
Okay, cool. I would like to then though I forget his name. The one that does the vines,
Hugh.
Yes.
Hugh, would be second in my book. To be able to water bend the water within vines, that makes you freaking fucking awesome. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's true. And also in this, a quick side note to that, in this book, we get to see like subclasses. So we see these people able to bend vines. We also get to see bend crystals for earth bending. So it's like, so many doors open up.
Just to see metal and sand.
True.
I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. but
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you get to see a lot of little ones.
Yes. So
And lightning.
lightning for water bending, I would put him higher than Katara. If we're still at this point, yeah, she has not.
I disagree.
Cool.
In this book, just because she didn't bend anything other than water.
She heals at the end.
Yeah.
She resurrects at the
Yeah,
end.
that's
Yeah, but she didn't bend
sure. No, but
anything that was like
that's part of
crazy.
her bending ability is healing, and she's
But it's still
very
water.
good.
It's water healing.
Yeah, but she's very good.
If I were to have to put them in a fight against one another just alone, I don't think she could pull.
She almost beats him. What are you talking about?
But
Kind
it
of.
was him. It was him versus all three of them, and Aang was there. But
Sure, but in the end, it's like she's the one that almost takes him
I guess I don't know.
down. I see what you're saying, that he can bend vines and also become this huge monster, and like, but I still think that Katara's got it. What do you think, Frank?
It's a great fight. It's a great fight in a great place. I love that the swamp is one giant tree.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's just such a mystical place where you get really cool thought processes coming. And don't sleep on the visions that Sokka and Katara have, because I think that conversation with her mother sets the tone for how she is the rest of the episode for certain, and it unsteadies Sokka when he talks to Yue. Like it really, like it's why Suki works. It's why all the stuff happens after that.
Yep. And speaking of Suki, my bending fact. The name of the princess from the Northern Water Tribe and Sokka's first girlfriend, Yue, can be, depending on the tones, the Chinese word for moon. Suki, the name for Sokka's second girlfriend, may more commonly anglicized as Suki with a T, also means moon, but only in Japanese. He likes
Wait.
moons.
He likes moons.
He's a moon guy.
He's a moon guy.
It's mooning people over here.
Yeah. He moons all his girlfriends.
I was gonna say, like, Sokka was like, "No, you guys have to be rational about this, about the whole vision stuff." I'm like, dude, you know better. Like, you're hanging out with the Avatar, and you've seen other like weird things before. Like, this shouldn't even. Just why?
Yeah, it's a real
Like, he was
Han
trying to
Solo
be-
line, but
yeah.
like in the middle of the story when you've already seen
Yeah,
everything. You're like,
it's like-
no, it doesn't work
you,
here.
you saw the guy
The
pick up a
Force-
lightsaber. You saw him pick someone else off the ground. Like,
The
come
Force
on.
doesn't exist. Darth Vader and Luke, magnets.
We don't know why they're the most powerful people.
I
on
don't get the
planet.
Force, and I don't get this.
Magnets.
Magnets.
Okay. So let's go to earthbending. Obviously, this is the book of Earth, so we get to see a lot of earthbending on display. I think that you
Top
know,
has to be number one.
yeah.
It's the
100%.
boulder, obviously.
Boulder's number two.
The boulder. No, actually, I would say Boomy would have to be number two.
But yeah, and we
Yeah.
we already he was number one.
One.
Now he's
She's
number
number
two.
two.
Yeah.
Number three could be the boulder
Number three is Boulder.
or her
Teacher.
teacher.
I'm gonna put the Boulder just because we like the Boulder more.
But the other dude is better than the guy who goes with her teacher and is hunting them down.
The guy
is-
that puts on the show.
That is the
sorry,
teacher.
No, they're two different people.
There's two.
She has it's teacher
whatever.
Lou, something like that.
Let's see.
Name does not
But,
matter.
yeah,
Insert
you,
name
Lou,
here.
But then there's the other guy who is a master.
Yeah,
who
he's the
is
one running
putting
the
on the
tournament.
tournament.
Who he thinks Toph cheats him out of.
Yeah, and her
It
parents
takes, like, a flaw.
paid both of them
to be
to
like,
go
get my
find
dog.
them. Yeah.
I thought that it was the Boulder and her teacher.
No, the boulder is only in the tournament.
So it's not you.
What is it? What is the teacher's name?
You.
The teacher.
Oh,
yeah.
so it is you. Oh,
Yeah.
You and
Yes!
someone else.
I did it.
You and who?
Me.
Oh,
You and me.
You and me. We.
We did this.
Who are you?
I am you. You is me. No, that is him.
Who's on first?
It depends
Speaking-
on who's on second.
Speaking of the boulder,
What's on second?
Well,
a
what's-
mind-bending fact. WWE Hall of Fame Mick Foley, who voices the Boulder in episode 3, based his performance on WWE alumni and wrestling friend thank you, alumni and wrestling friend Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, copying The Rock's mannerism of speech and referring to himself at the third person.
Can you smell what the boulder was cooking?
Yep. Mike Foley and The Rock. Foley? Is it Foley?
Mike Foley.
Mike Foley.
No, it's Mick Foley.
Mick?
Yeah.
Ah, my bad. Sorry, Mick. Mick Foley.
We're
Don't
sorry.
be enormous, dude. It's so big.
Mick Foley and The Rock have been both rivals and friends in the ring, even teaming up as the Rock and Sock connection at one point.
That makes
Definitely
sense.
very.
So who are we putting for number three?
So
Couldn't
I
find
think
his name.
I think 100% it's tough.
Toph as number one.
Boomy number
I
2.
said number three.
And number 3, I don't know. I feel like there's a well, honestly the Daily, I think.
Okay.
But that's a group.
Yes, but we don't have a specific name and they're just amazing. They're really good.
With the whole glove thing,
Yeah,
like that's
they're,
really
they're
cool.
fantastic. I think in this one we can make an exception and rank the group.
What?
When they're
You're
so
saying-
close
You're
and they
telling
act as
me
one person.
that we can do whatever we want on our show? Get in the comments.
Tell us we're wrong.
Do it. I dare you.
We double dog dare you.
But you were just gonna say double dog you. We double dog you.
We double dog
you.
No, thank
Oh,
you.
No,
that sounds
No,
that
thank
sounds
you.
fun.
One dog is enough.
What dog?
But and speaking of which, speaking of the Daily Agents for a second, that whole arc in Bossing Say, it's like they are tackling. Not only did they tackle animal cruelty in this book, but they also tackled like brainwashed like conspiracy like arc, and that's like they did it. They did both of those things very well.
And I want to say, and I know we're gonna rank styles. Daily, I want that as a daily dress. I want to be able to wear the daily.
100%.
It looks so comfortable.
I want to say
It looks comfortable, and they look badass, dude.
Yes.
Those hats,
Yeah.
awesome.
And you knew if they were metal benders, those would be metal
Benders?
hats, and it would just be like
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Little bendos.
metal bendos. Give them the comments.
So the Daily were actually created by Avatar Kyoshi.
Yes, mind bending fact.
That's a mind-bending fact, right? That just bent my mind.
Sorry.
And another mind-bending fact at you. The character of Toph Bay.
Nope. Beifong.
You already ruined it.
Beifong.
It's Befong.
Beifong.
The character of
Beifong.
Toph Bay.
Tough.
I
Right.
had more Daily facts, but whatever.
Oh, we'll get back to it. We'll get
Dial it
Fine.
back with the Daily
Oh, God.
facts.
was originally written as a male, specifically a 16-year-old teenage boy. The Earthbender in the intro was Toph's original design. The character was initially designed to be a foil to Sokka, with Toph being a muscle jock to Sokka's nerdy personality. I don't think he has a nerdy personality.
So would you say
He's not a nerd. Nerds are smart.
would you say that he would have been his tin foil since Toph discovers
The writers,
metal bending?
the writers then toyed with the idea of making Toph the world's greatest Earthbender into a 12-year-old little blind girl, which would have been funnier to them. Creator DiMartino and Konetsko were initially not fond of the idea, but grew to like it after several discussions with the writers. Toph's prototype design was reused for minor characters like the Boulder, her opponent in the Earthbending wrestling ring, and Sud, Avatar Roku's Earthbending teacher, which we haven't been introduced to yet. But
So before we move on, I would like to submit a name for a water bender who is also a wrestler. John C. No.
oh god, that is terrible.
It's great for Nickelodeon. It would have made it.
You're right. Nickelodeon would have loved it. They're all like,
oh,
give this guy money.
money.
Give him money.
Billions.
Billions.
Shut up. I can dream.
Sure.
Okay, so we good with that ranking?
Yes, I think so.
Do we want to rank anybody else? I'm okay with ranking.
Let's hear
the
hear
Bold-
more about.
Oh
the,
yes, the
Yeah.
Dai Li facts.
Dial it back up.
I'm gonna need the list again because I was looking at the facts, but
Yeah, say the facts first.
so the Daily decide to I don't even know how to I don't know how to say this, but they will instill their like specific ways of indoctrination while the kids are young. It's very much like certain Jedi that we know.
Oh, so they pull into the rings at a certain age. I love that. I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Interesting.
And all right. So for real life historical terms, a Daili resembles several versions of ancient Chinese officials, specifically belonging to the, and I'll probably butcher this, the Qing Empire. The name most likely refers to Lieutenant General Dai Li, who worked under General Chiang Kai-shek as the head of the military intelligence service from 1927 to 1946.
Cool. That's really awesome. I did not know that.
So a full imperial look. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh,
different.
okay.
Sorry.
Ranking. ranking.
It's pretty close.
Oh, we could. No, never mind. That.
So what did we have for fire?
We haven't stepped into fire.
We have
Oh, did we have air?
No,
fire. It's just.
So what you're saying.
Yeah. For now.
Unless
No.
we include Appa.
We have Kiyoshi. She
Now we
made an
do.
appearance.
Now we do.
She moved an entire
And
continent.
that's honestly.
Is that airbending or is that earthbending?
No,
Or
that's
is that
airbending.
water
And then she
No, it
threw
was
the air.
airbending.
She threw the.
I know.
Yeah.
She threw the air.
She could have done all three technically, and it would have been all the same as different
She had a little bit of
Well,
everything.
and honestly, it's weird because she was her natural
element.
element is earth. Yeah, and I was just about to think about ranking her in earthbending, but I think she's better for air.
You definitely see her utilizing air.
Yeah.
For
With the
I think.
fans.
I think. Yeah, exactly. I think she's a solid number 2.
Not you fans.
No, I think she's
These
the number one for this episode.
you think she stepped in front of Aang?
Oh yeah, actually, because
Yeah. There's no real coup de grace moment for Aang in this.
True.
Yeah, like there was in
For
at the
air
end of
specifically.
first season. Yeah, that's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Sure.
Yeah.
My thing is just overall, Aang just it's like breathing. You know, air is his go-to all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For everyone.
Sure.
He meant airbending and not just
So you
breathing.
guys can make jokes, but I can't.
No.
He hates it when I make jokes.
So, but yes, Kyoshi, she did a really cool feat there, but I don't think it compares.
She has big feet.
Oh, you did sound a little bit like, yeah, that's a nice parlor trick here. What I can do.
He can stop a volcano.
You know,
I've never
you know,
seen Aang make an island.
exactly. I agree with you. I think for this, she's jumped in front. I mean, spoilers. He might do his own jump, but for right now, that's in the right spot. Okay. Yeah.
What? You're saying a character that is the main character will jump,
Yeah. Well, he'll find some resolution and then actually like
be able to be
def-
powerful?
defeat the things that are in front of him, like in a hero's journey.
Never heard of it.
Heroes are supposed to do that.
Yeah. Well,
Nope.
I mean, whenever they're on a journey, I guess.
Not
It's
my
not a
heroes.
journey.
Let's talk about firebenders.
Yeah.
So I think last time we ranked
Iroh at the top.
Iroh's number 1, and then did we put
Zhao is number, or no,
Zhao.
Zuko.
Let's see.
Zuko
No,
and then
it
Zhao?
was General.
We had Iroh and
Yes.
then Zhao and then Zuko.
No, we should have had what's
I
Xinjiang.
wrote it down.
no? We did rank what is his name? The
Xinjiang.
guy who
Xinjiang.
teaches Aang
Xinjiang.
at the beginning.
Yeah, Xinjiang.
Cannot do that.
Sorry.
I asked you guys specifically, and you guys said that was the list. That's why I wrote it down.
I don't remember who you're talking about either.
The
The
guy
one
who
that
teaches
was-
Aang at the
The
very
guy
beginning.
that taught Zhao.
Yeah.
The guy who taught
Zhao.
Yeah.
General Zhao. Sorry.
General Zhao.
I know. Terrible.
His
Don't.
name's just Ying, I think.
I thought I remember this as well, Winnie. I thought we gave.
Yeah, because
what's
he's
his name
an
at number
incredible
2.
firebender.
Okay, yeah. And Roku doesn't make the list.
He's dead.
Also, we haven't seen him do anything.
Technically, that's
It's
wrong.
Zhang Zhang.
Zhang.
Young.
Yeah, Zhang Zhang. Oh, Zhang Zhang. Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
we had Zhang Zhang and then
Yeah.
Zhao.
Zhang Zhang. Huh. Oh, the sights and sounds.
Well, we can't do Iroh or Zuko. Well, yeah, we can do Zuko because he
Yes.
was
He's
fighting with Azula.
and he's become much better.
He's
Yeah.
gotten a lot better, but we can't count Iroh because he didn't do anything impressive besides heating up his tea.
True. Yeah, but we already have him on the list, so it's fine.
So who did we have for fire?
We haven't set up.
Zuko?
We didn't. Oh yeah, we did set up the fire. Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about fire
Right now,
Right now,
we had Iroh at the top.
right?
We had
So Zhao and then Zuko. I think
No, Iroh and then Zhang Zhang,
Zhang,
and then
Zhao,
Zhao.
and then
Zuko.
uh
I would say Zula for
Azula?
season 2 would be
number
out.
1.
Number 1?
Yeah,
I don't. Oh,
it has
guess,
lightning bending,
Okay. I
And
guess
she
if
has-
you're saying for season, yeah,
blue fire. Like, yeah,
yeah.
she
You're
is the
right.
most fearsome firebender we have seen.
Okay. Does May make the list?
May doesn't have fire.
Yeah, they can't bend.
So neither of them can bet.
No.
Okay.
Have you
I'm
seen
fine.
the same thing?
Yes, I just thought they'd been to Earth, not nothing.
No, one does. Yeah, can just block chi. And the other one
Okay.
can just throw daggers, arrows. She's
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Okay, cool. I remember that. I just didn't make the connection.
I think
Oh, you're watching stuff and you're like not paying attention to
No.
everything that's happening.
Never done that.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Exactly.
And speaking of firebending feats, another mind-bending fact actually.
Hot.
Though they are never shown doing so on screen, the writers confirmed that the twin sisters Lo and Lee, Azula's firebending teachers, are the ones who were operating the tanks seen in the chase and the giant drill that was penetrating Ba Sing Se's walls. So they are also very formidable firebenders, though we don't see it, so it doesn't count, I think. But yeah, a little shout out. A little shout out to Lo and Lee.
Which one's which?
Nobody knows. Literally nobody knows.
I thought you were the lead.
Other than that, though, we still and another quick shout out. We still have not seen the Fire Lord's face.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't count him yet because we still haven't seen him do anything impressive yet.
I mean, you know, I was like, did we already see him give Zuko his scar?
We see it.
No.
Yes, they.
But we don't
mention-
see his face.
Yeah, they talk about how it happens. It's
Yeah.
not really him firebending. It's just
We just
That's
see,
what I see.
yeah, we just see a fireball hit Zuko's face.
which anybody could do because he has a pretty big face.
You leave him alone.
Let's get into character arc. Okay. For this one, I want to shout out 2 episodes. One is the super western episode with Zuko when he goes into the village and everything. And it's like, this is another great example of that. They're showing like how, yes, you're a firebender, but does that make you bad necessarily? You know? And he's totally like, you know, the cowboy on the run,
Lone Ranger.
Lone Ranger, the Punisher, whatever you want to call it, you know. And he's like, "Don't talk to me, little kid," and he helps the village out. I love that episode because it's starring Zuko. Like, let's be honest, he's amazing. And also, I wanted to shout
I
out.
hated it this time because I knew it was gonna happen.
Oh,
I mean, I hated it the second and third time too, but
I do say his speech that I am the prince feels cringy to me, and it's always felt that. Like, just it's overstating it.
he had been having dreams about his mom, and his mom was like, you know, don't forget who you are.
No, and I get that.
So he was just like, that's who I am, and I can't change that I'm the prince.
Just comes off.
yeah, he could have just said, "I'm from the Fire Nation," instead of, yeah. I see what you're saying.
And I think
Pro-
that's just me
it
as
helped
me.
earn
Like, it's just cringy.
that
because
Okay.
that
I-
rejection that he ended up getting from them.
No, shut up. No.
It makes sense for Zuko. Because that's how Zuko is.
Yeah, true.
And I also want to shout out the saddest episode of the whole thing, which is, I completely forgot, is the best filler episode ever, where there are like little side quests on each one, and then we have this incredibly emotionally wrecking thing with Iroh, but we also have like this super cool thing that happens with Aang, that's like a fun adventure, and then we get
Momo's dream.
Momo's dream doesn't matter, but what was the
What? That's a great film.
what were the other 2 little side quests?
Toph and Katara go and have a girls' day.
That's
yes.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Which is that was fun. That was entertaining.
I
And
completely
then
ignored Ira's
oh,
side quest.
Sokka's free verse when he goes in and
Oh yeah, when he's doing the
rap
poetry.
battles.
The
He was doing poetry.
haikus. The haikus.
Yes,
Thank
it was
You had
great.
me saying it, you jerk. You don't like the haiku battle?
No. It's just I remember it's not good.
But I rocked ya. Shut up.
The episode that stands out to me is the one where and it's a 2-part episode. And when we're watching book 2, it's not a 2-part episode. When it originally aired, it was a mid-season 2-part episode, the way that Winter Solstice was from season 1. And it's where they lose Appa during the middle of it. And that desert scene, I mean, just so well done. It evokes thoughts of Tatooine, just based on its desolation, but like full of like emotion and what they're going through. Cut to earlier, when they're all being sleep deprived because of the machine following them, and what they're kind of reacting to. And this is when Toph first joins them. That also sits as not just how they're acting and the voices, but like actually how they're drawn. See like the stress in them.
Yeah.
We talk about we talked off camera, because we talk off camera from time to time
What?
about
Sometimes.
some of the things
Never.
they didn't
The
bring
camera's
in
on all the time.
that maybe Nickelodeon thought maybe a little dark. Some of the blood bendings that happen.
What's bloodbending?
Yeah,
We don't
you'll find
know
out
what
what
that
it
is.
is.
Bloodbending.
They did bring that sleep deprived look in such a way that they went from looking tired and cranky like kids to like truly haunted by the time you get to the end of the episode, where you're like, oh, this sleep is not just necessary, it's super vital. Like I feel it because you felt that throughout the course of the episode.
Yeah.
Especially when Zuko's been rejecting and going, let's just be friends this whole time. But this is the one that kind of like hits him where he's like, what? He's such a good guy. Why is he actually trying to be a good guy? And like it stripped away all of the, yeah, okay, he's gonna do his thing, we're gonna do our thing, and why can't he just be a good guy? Was kind of like the look that he had. And it was so haunting that I was like, okay, I love the way that they drew that and put that into something that you could see and not just hear and feel.
I also love that it foreshadows the Aang gang at its full potential because you see all the bendings, including Sokka's boomerang, which does get thrown at Azula in the corner, which is amazing. But you do finally see the full, true potential of all the four elements combined into one sudden burst.
Was that in the village?
That was when Azula and Aang are fighting.
Yes. That sequence
It's amazing.
could have been like, we'll come back to that later, but I'm like, yes, it is amazing. But I feel like they missed out on some potential.
Okay.
And we'll get back to that when we get to
Well, I think we have a built-in reason because of the sleep deprivation. I think there's no coup de grace moment for Aang because that would have been it if he was well rested. Sure. Because he's already still holding his own until everyone else arrives, and he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
But he can't go over the hump because at this point it's like 3 days without sleep. It's something insane.
And he's fighting two people.
And he's fighting two super strong people. So him at least doing the best that he can still looks great, but it wasn't next level because they were like, okay, now there are constant stakes. Not just medium stakes, like a lot of the first book. Like you're at high stakes. You are super sleep deprived. Your friends aren't here yet.
I was gonna say I was like medium rare from medium rare straight
From medium rare. Well done.
raw.
Char broiled steaks.
Oh, I went the wrong way.
If you want high stakes, cook them at 420.
But you're right. As a result,
And
Yeah.
don't forget that at the end of that episode, that is what brings Zuko and his uncle back together.
Yeah.
And things change dramatically after that. you know?
their dynamic as their relation and their dynamic changes.
Yep.
A lot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a good thing I said that after you said that. Just reiterated it. 2 extra words.
You are right because you are right.
You see what you said right there? You were right.
Yeah.
Should probably put. I want to put Zuko there.
Yeah, I do too. He's dark right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do too.
So he's number one.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
You on board with that? Yeah, Zuko all day long, right?
Even though this is when he has long hair and everyone freaks out. His hair is so long.
Well, that was a powerful move too because that was like straight out of like they became instead of being
When you're talking about when they cut.
when they cut their top
Yeah.
knots, that was full like instead of being I want to call them the swords and samurai, they become Ronin.
Yeah.
Like that is like so powerful.
Oh yeah.
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 It's great.
And they
It's
even
great.
do it with like a special, almost ceremonial like
Dagger.
knife. Yeah. 100%.
was
Very, very.
I like that in his dream he doesn't have his scar. When he was dreaming of himself in the fever dream,
I didn't even notice that.
you didn't notice he didn't have a
Oh,
scar.
that's a really good.
How he perceives
Oh,
himself.
mind-bending
His
fact. I
subconscious.
don't know if you guys knew this, but until he's with someone that he feels comfortable with, he never sleeps on the side that his scar is on because it's harder for him to see and hear on the side. In show, they do that on purpose. He only does that when he's with his uncle or when you see him with the Aang gang. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
I do love how they do like even some of the cinematography,
Mhm.
where sometimes he's talking to somebody and you can only see his scarred side. You know, it's like almost like Two-Face. It's great.
There's a duality to it.
100%. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think we get to see more of Uncle Iroh, but I wouldn't call it a character arc quite yet.
No.
I think Aang had a pretty good arc because
Aang
he
does
still
have a
had
very
it.
good arc.
It's crazy how he's just like able to shut these things off. Like for a normal person, maybe it's just because that just he's so young. I
Yeah, I think part of it is his
Oh,
age.
opening his chakras is what you're
Yeah, because the guy's like, let go of these things. And he's like, okay.
It also could be that his I want to say Buddhist background, but that's not right. Nomad background.
Yeah.
Or,
is-
yeah.
helps him with that.
That makes sense.
Because they're trained to like meditate and to, already do all those things at a young age. So I'm sure that.
And I think in the sake of storytelling for the show, I feel like they speed those sequencing up with inside of him. You can see that time does pass day to day at the very least when he's with Gupta
Guru Patik.
Guru Patik. Thank you. Sorry, I was saying that wrong. So that's a little confusing because I did notice that this third time or fourth time watching it. Like I said, it does, like when you watch it the first time, it feels like, oh, he just does it automatically. I wish I could just get over emotional scarring that easily.
And then, the whole reason why he left and the guru was like upset was because he couldn't let go of Katara, and he was like, I'm gonna go anyways. And then all of a sudden he just decides, okay, I'm gonna let go of Katara real quick.
Yeah.
It's like,
Which,
what?
by the way, also harkens to a certain movie where you have a certain young person training with a certain master and then goes to save his friends.
Yep.
And it
wonder.
doesn't end the way that he thinks it's going to. Like,
I wonder what you could be talking.
man, that's a real hero's journey kind of
And
moment.
it's like in between two other movies too. It's really weird.
No, I like that. Aang is
Lord of the Rings?
yes. Well, actually, yes, but Aang is definitely up there.
Yeah.
I would argue that Katara also has an incredible arc, especially once you hit the vision with her mom. However, it's not the same arc as the other two because if anything, she's trying to work out emotional things. And so she is in this season something that you said off camera. And I think that's for a reason. Because she is the thing you said off camera.
What is the thing you thought of?
Anyway, so I would say she also has a lot there where you can start to see the arc again. Where it's not just, oh, the subtler things from one where I'm a kid. Oh no, I'm a clear-headed thinker and very empathic and emotionally connected. But then, I have this strain with my brother. But then, I have this connection with my brother because of what we've lost. But then it's not jumping around anymore. It's more now focused in the nebulous of, I don't know how I feel about a lot of this.
Speaking
And this
of,
might be more
yeah.
than I signed up for. And that's what I felt from her vision onward. I don't know if this is what I signed up for. Because you have the earlier part with her kissing Aang in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
That happens before, right?
Yes.
Did
Yeah.
they kiss? Is that confirmed that they kiss? I thought they were going to kiss.
I think they did once it went out.
Yeah. I think it's implied once the lights went out. That kissed.
And then when the crystals blew. Okay, that always skip. I thought it was always like they got close and then the lights came back. The crystals started to glow, and then they never went.
Well, even before
That'd be
that,
interesting too.
the scene where Aang is clearly upset that they took Appa, and you can just see it in her face where it's like
Oh, that's a great
she had
scene.
told him
That's
that
a great
that it hurts her just as much when he goes into the Avatar state when he's in
See
these
that?
emotions.
And that's past this point.
Well,
that's that emotional thing. This is more than I signed up for.
If
Yeah.
you're referencing that, just when the Earth General tries to use him as a weapon and target
and
his
she's
avatar,
upset about it, yeah.
and you see he is like a hurricane and she is like the center, and she's just able to reach out the moment she touches him.
No, that was when Appa's.
Yeah, that's
No.
Appa's thing.
Yeah.
This is also when the general is
She does
forcing-
something similar. Yeah. But
and
like,
she reaches out to just barely touch him.
Yeah, I was gonna say
It's the same
that
thing.
that first one felt a little bit more like Hulk and Black Widow,
Yeah.
but this second one was more.
yeah, she straight up grabs
Yeah.
us like, it's okay, and then they just cry together. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was.
And it's fun.
Those two episodes are.
Can I add a
amazing.
ranking thing since we're doing this? The saddest episodes.
100%. Yeah.
Cool.
Give me
To
what?
be fair, I'm gonna say those center episodes, those doubleheader episodes, these two episodes, which aren't named the same thing, but they are considered part 1 and 2,
Two, yes.
and then Winter Solstice from.
For me, it's
Season
not
one.
when he loses Appa, it's Appa's journey.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Which
That
is a part
hurt
of it, which is
way
a part of
more
it,
than,
but-
yeah.
I will go ahead. Sorry.
going back to the of when she reaches for him, I also liked how like Sokka was like, everybody run, and they all run, and he starts destroying everything, and she's just right behind him the whole time, and then she reaches up and grabs him. It's like just the trust that those two have, you know. Sorry. It was
Oh, well, I was just going to keep talking about Katara's, just for some reason this season, or this book, it shows a lot of her, I guess, her side on a lot of the relationships that she has. Because even with Toph, you can see that they don't see eye to eye.
Yep.
And quite honestly, I was with Katara the entire time. Because I'm just like, you know.
Which doesn't happen.
Which never happened.
That doesn't happen.
No. But because I'm very.
I would. She doesn't.
I'm pretty, and people are gonna hate me for saying this out loud, but I'm not very much of a feminist myself. Like,
Mind-bending fact.
but in that episode, or even I don't know if it was multiple episodes,
It's
but
multiple. Yeah.
in those episodes where she just doesn't see eye to eye with Toph, and then later on when they go and have a spa day, you know, she's making the effort to be like throughout the episodes. She's making an effort to be like, you know, we're the only two girls in the group. We should get along. You know, you are one of Aang's teachers. I want to get along with everyone. I don't want to be fighting with you all the time. And Toph is just very like, I don't care.
I think
And again, with Aang being able to talk to him in different ways, and Aang just messing it up all the time.
what
What-
a young boy.
Why would I want to kiss
What?
you?
A young boy messing up with a girl? No way.
I think that helps with both of their. I mean, because plainly, because of the relationship forming, you're gonna get them both like intertwining in their stories. It helps with her and her uncertainty, and it starts showing us his imbalance happening because he'd been able to just almost to the point of Mary Sue, like, oh, I can get people to get along, and I could do this, and I could do that. I still love from the last book the lie that he tells him at the end. He's like, oh yeah, I know those two people,
Well,
and they're like,
yeah.
you knew that? And they're like, no, I lied. It's so brilliant, and that's
That's a
not a thing that
controversial
really
issue.
happens.
Yeah.
That's not really a thing that happens. He's always on the wrong foot when he's like he's about to leap, always on the wrong foot kind of mentality. You have that with the earthbending and him not realizing he needs to direct it, you know, have a direct approach with her and how he handles her as opposed to her handling him. It's interesting how they blend those two thoughts to give us his conflict in a huge hero's journey, but then her an emotional conflict that ends up locking in on, is this more than I signed up for, but still at least tepidly agreeing to continue with the story, which is also an interesting thought because sometimes that is the path that like people in a relationship would take. And it might not be a guy who has the one and the girl who has the other always the same. Maybe it flips, but there's a person who maybe they're unsteady for a long time and the other person has to go through their own mental, is this more than I signed up for? But then also, is that balance being for that other person in a relationship? And then as the relationship goes long term, maybe that switches. And the other person starts losing balance for whatever reason. The other person's like, is this more than I signed up for? But has that balance being for them. So you can see an actual relationship forming.
Yeah.
And
And
going,
speaking of Katara Toph teaching Aang, I kind of want to know why Toph decided to use the positive reinforcement. Was it just like she stepped off to the side and was like, you know what, maybe I'll try it. But just because of out of pride, because she is super prideful, she just didn't want to accept it in front of Katara. And then towards the end, after Aang kind of had this like revelation with Sokka, as it so tends to happen, that moose, tiger bear baby, whatever the heck it was, it's adorable.
No, yeah. Yeah. I would still want to eat it.
10 out of 10 would still eat it.
We want to eat most babies. Yeah.
Well, I'm a baby.
Scientifically, that's a fact.
Ribs.
Um,
What were you going to say?
I was going to
I
speak.
wasn't done.
None of us are done.
I was going to speak directly on that.
As
I was
a,
gonna
when you
talk
were-
about Toph, yeah.
when you were talking about, Katara being like, oh, like we should try to get along and everything, that's the moment where I feel like they start to have a connection where she's like, hey, I don't want to step on your toes, but I recommend this. I've seen it work. I know Aang and everything. And she's like, don't talk to me. I know how to earthbend. And then she tries it and she's all like, yeah, and that kind of starts that it's a friendship. It starts a friendship,
Has she had one before? What's interesting is I think she's
True.
starting
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Katara.
oh, I mean,
To be
Katara-
fair, I think these are the first real relationship that
real
she's making.
friendship.
But I would
Katara
also
talked
say
to way more people.
absolutely tough.
But
Absolutely
Katara,
tough.
for
This
the
is her
longest
first
part,
friendship.
probably was not the oldest girl in her tribe, but also not the youngest. I don't think there's any girls around her age,
Just the little tiny ones.
just
And
or
then
the
old ladies. yeah.
old ladies.
Well, with Toph, it was just her parents and her teacher. She wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to see anyone
or
else.
servants. Well, she
Yeah.
can't see.
So, anyways. Yeah, Toph wouldn't even. It's kind of funny about how prideful she is around other people, especially people that are supposed to be her friends, because she doesn't really even know how to act around other people.
Yeah.
She's only ever seen the way her parents act towards her and how her servants act towards her.
She can't see.
Chris, stop. That's enough.
They,
She's only ever heard
Thank
her
you.
parents talk to her,
Thank you.
or her parents talk to the
Experience.
servants.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, even
Look,
then,
if
she's
I
never
don't say it,
experienced her
they're gonna need
parents
to say it in the
Even-
comments.
have
How about,
friends.
how about Master Yu?
Sorry.
It's interesting. The way that Master Yu kind of reacts is the way that she reacts a little later on. It is more, no, I teach my way.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I teach my way. And you're like, okay, even that has a direct correlation. There's not so many individuals of different personality types that she deals with. So you could say, oh yeah, she's super arrogant. Everyone that she has interactions with are
only-
super arrogant.
Not only that, the only other people that she interacts with are people that are wanting to bring her down.
Yeah.
So she's only ever having to fight people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it
so
makes
she's
sense that
already
she's
fighting
always
for her place.
defense. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's always putting up defenses.
But I do like
Gosh, it's too real.
I do like this
Right?
and going
They
back
do
to
a
the-
really good job with Toph. And Toph is new to the group. So it's a newer introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
What?
No, it's just we've been talking about this, and then now it's all like, oh yeah, that's kind of like somebody I know. That's kind of like somebody I know. Interesting. So I'm just making these connections in my mind. Yeah. Ish.
I was
Characters
gonna-
in shows should have relatability.
I just
Yeah.
I was
the-
gonna keep talking about how like Toph's relationships, like because we're doing character arcs.
Yep.
So we
I
talked
was gonna
about
say Toph,
Aang, and we were talking about Katara, and now with Katara, we see that she's developing some sort of crush on Sokka. Weirdly enough,
Yeah, you mean Toph. Toph
Did I
is
not
developed.
say that?
You said Katara.
Katara.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Yeah.
I said Aang and then Katara and now Toph, and
Yes.
we see that
That she.
she is developing a
Cool.
crush
Okay.
on.
It didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear Toph in that.
I
I
said-
heard Katara. We see that she is. So. But I just want to touch. Sorry, really quick. I just wanted to touch on this because it's been eating me up inside. Going back to the
Let
relationship
it out. Don't
with,
let it do that.
I've been trying to say it.
It's really
Oh.
bad for you.
With the relationship and the feminist thing that you said.
Did you just do an alien thing?
Yes.
How would
Stay
you know
tuned.
you didn't finish it?
He got that far. He got that far.
I
You
didn't
didn't,
get that.
you didn't even get the good part.
We'll get there.
I don't like scary movies.
Watch the end.
there. This is Avatar. We're not talking about Alien.
Only watch.
I don't know what Alien is. I've never seen an Alien.
No.
Technically, I'm the alien. You're the robot.
The thing that I would just want to touch on the relationship between Toph and Katara, or just the idea that the two women bring, is you don't always have to be your role or the typecasting that you are. Katara very much falls into the motherly role, but also is willing to go, no, I can still do scams. I can still have fun. I can still be a teenager while being okay with who I am now. Toph does the same thing. We'll go on to later on when she's an adult about her different responsibilities, but just now, the idea of, the softness or the positive reinforcement at the end, in her own race, she still have to be like, you still have to meet my standards.
That's
You
her
still have to
expectations,
you still have to go on ahead with face the boulder head on. Literally, otherwise I'm not going to motivate you because you're not worth my time.
Right.
Those are the gives. I can still have that motherly and that sweetness to me, but it's because I've been so hard, or I have sweetness like a sour fruit. It's that where it's those given. Both are fruit, but one is a sour and one is a more sweeter fruit. I guess is what you would say.
One's a red apple and one's a green apple. Because there's no blue apples. That would just be a raspberry or blueberry or something.
A big blue.
I'm thinking of blue raspberry, okay?
Yeah.
Because blue raspberries usually, you know what? I'm thinking Jolly Ranchers.
Jolly Rancher.
There are no blue apples because they would be blueberries.
I said raspberries.
They'd be blue raspberries.
Yeah.
She doubled down on how different these fruit are.
I am wrong, and this is how wrong I'm willing to be. Okay?
Going back to your thoughts.
Don't change my mind.
No, I love it.
Going back to your thoughts on
Both
Toph
women
creating
drive
a-
me crazy. Both females drive me crazy.
Toph creating
They're
a
annoying.
crush. Toph creating a crush. Like we even
Sokka.
see that when Suki
when Suki goes in to
yeah.
save her, and she's like,
She's like,
"Oh, my hero!" and she gives her a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, you can let me.
Suki's
Yeah.
like, "That's awkward," because I actually kissed him a little bit ago.
right? Oh.
And I think it's when I can't remember what episode it is, but there is an episode where we see Sokka save Toph for the first time, and I think that's when the connection starts. It's the first person that saves her, I think, besides Aang. And Aang she makes fun of.
Yep.
So I would have to go back and rewatch it. Oh well.
I think she makes fun of him because it's so easy to make fun of him.
Oh, Twinkle
because,
Toes, obviously.
No, well, because he's so nice and he's willing to be like, whatever.
Yeah, he
That's
brushes it off.
that's an ancient, unique instrument that the monks
Ooh.
built. Can you not break that? Even though I use it to destroy tanks, hit people with, break battleships.
It got destroyed last season. All right, it got burnt to a crisp, and now it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, he gets a new.
No.
Oh.
It's the same one.
When did it get burned to a crisp?
In book one.
Does it?
Yeah. He can't fly. Yeah.
Remember, he tries to fly away, and he can't because there's like holes in it and stuff.
I don't remember that. No.
That's okay because I do.
Okay, we're taking way too long on this. Character
On
arc.
fire, Chris.
Character arc.
You're fired.
We are going character arc.
On fire.
You're fired.
Zuko
Bending.
first.
Zuko first.
Zuko first on character arc, right? And then
Aang.
Aang.
Yeah,
I completely
Toph.
agree. Toph or Katara? Which one?
I think
I think Katara, just because Toph hasn't had enough moments of those yet.
You're outvoted once again.
You're outvoted.
3-1.
Here's the
You're
thing.
outvoted.
It's neck and neck because Toph is immediately such an intriguing character.
Yeah.
Her names are tough. Her name rhymes with tough.
And speaking of, a mind-bending fact about Toph. None of the characters except for Toph Bei Fong have a last name. They are known from their respective nations. Even though Bei Fong is the only actual surname mentioned in the series,
Goes right back to-
there are two fake surnames as well. Fire and Pippin Adoloscopus.
Pippin Paddleoscop.
Pippin Paddleoscopy.
I can't get that last part.
Pippin
It's
Paddleoscopy.
Pippin Paddleopsicopolis.
Something
Pippin
like that.
Paddleoscopy.
Made up by Toph and Aang, obviously.
Made up by Aang and Katara.
If I can't even say it,
Okay, I think it's a good list. Character arc. Yeah. Anybody for character design?
I wanted to add Appa in there because
For
he
character
went,
arc.
yeah,
Oh.
because he went through a lot of
Yeah.
like he went from being completely trustworthy like Aang to being betrayed by a lot of people and then with the little kid that comes up and then with the warriors
Circus.
and then with the guru, he comes back to being like, okay, maybe I can trust some people.
But
And he
honestly,
gets captured by the Daily.
he.
What an idiot.
What an idiot! Just walked right in.
But honestly, it doesn't seem like he's the same he's the same Appa, you know. So I completely agree. Honestly, I think he goes above Toph right now.
Ooh,
It's like a three-way tie.
it's like a three-way.
I'm just gonna put Appa at the
Yeah,
bottom
you can
Appa
put
at the back.
because he's a very small character, and it was like
But it's so.
But what
impactful,
about
too.
Momo, guys?
He has no character. Momo's
You
Momo.
don't have a character.
Character design. Anybody you want to put in character design?
Well, we have to
Boulder,
put
right?
Dai Li.
put
The
in
Dai
Boulder.
Li.
Yeah.
The Boulder.
The Dai Li have to be number
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I agree.
Oh, what's on the list right now?
Character design, we have Zuko, the
Zuko.
Kyoshi Warriors. We have Sokka, we have Jet,
Jet.
we have Yue, and we have June.
Yeah, they're cool. The Kyoshi Warriors. They look so
The
good.
Dai Li definitely
Yeah.
go above.
100%.
100%. Face paint.
Rock gloves? Are you kidding
So
me?
good.
That
So good.
form back because they have Earth all around them.
So good.
I just want to shut people up that way. Just,
Just-
you know what?
Just be quiet.
Anybody else? Oh, the Boulder. You said the Boulder?
The boulder. The hippo. It's just funny. I guess it's not. I just want to mention the hippo.
The hippo?
He's just a funny character design. I love it.
Oh, I remember.
Sorry.
I think
I want to put Toph in there. Just because she goes from having the traditional, and you know what? It looks like a traditional Korean style dress.
some yes.
Or it could be Chinese. I can't quite remember. I'll look it up right now. But she went from having a dress and wearing makeup, like full on makeup at 12 years old, to wearing clothes that are oversized, to not wearing makeup, to not doing her hair, and not wearing shoes either, because she's wearing shoes when she's wearing the nice dress. So I feel like in character design, at least there, she had different change of clothes. Whereas like Aang's always wearing the same thing, Katara's wearing the same thing, Sokka's wearing the same thing, Kyoshi Warriors. I want to say that they did look a little better when they were working in the Earth Kingdom.
Well, they got new uniforms.
Yeah, they looked, I guess they didn't look better, they just looked more normal. But I'm not gonna suggest them for the character design. But they do have quite a few like different outfits that they wear. I just wanted to put Toph up there.
Sure. Where would you put him? Under Jet?
Her.
Her. Sorry.
No,
sorry.
under June. Like I'd put her
Oh
dead
wait.
last.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think the hippo, or sorry, the Boulder. The Boulder goes under Jet personally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it's not the heavy hitter on the list, but it's a cool design. Sure.
He's just the boulder, not the boulder.
The Boulder.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
Quickly,
different episode.
very briefly, I want to talk about music. Because of
Honestly, same scene.
Okay.
Same scene as the visual
I got it.
for me.
Her fancy dress was modeled after the traditional clothing of the Chinese Tang dynasty. So
Cool.
that's what that is.
This is the remix because we can't get the actual song, but I just want to do the opening.
I'm probably gonna still.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Never mind. Leaves from the vine.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just
It's top tier.
yeah. Did we? No, we didn't make a list for music. Honestly, I don't think we need to. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that one's really good. Also, shout out to these.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Just really quick, I just wanted to mention, going back to world building, we're talking about the Earth Kingdom. I love how they have an old Ba Sing Se or underworld Ba Sing Se as part of like the culture that they've built on top of it over the past years. I think that's really cool as an Earth Kingdom idea. Like they're almost dwarves or whatever.
I was thinking more like a New York kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah, like that. Like it's already an unsleeping city, and there's like stuff underneath.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that even better. Okay, I was thinking Kaza Doom style.
Khazad-dûm honestly fits with that too, because Khazad-dûm is like a city that never sleeps, and then the deep underneath is what.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else to talk about with music?
Not with the music, no.
Yeah.
I want to get more into depth with that episode because there's something that I want to touch on. Just the teachings of that episode and how I
for it.
wrote. So yeah,
I guess we could talk about saddest episode if you wanted to.
Well, not saddest episode. I think not character growth, but overall, because there's always some sort of hidden lesson within each episode or each group of episodes that the writers want you to learn. And they do that a lot of the times through Iroh, where Iroh teaches Zuko a life lesson or a way of thinking or a way of understanding a place and time. And in season 2, I feel like he does that the most. He recognizes his growth and recognizes his who he becomes in season 3, I feel like. But for season 2, you see he gives him that speech. You need to start looking inward and seeing who you are on the inside.
Yeah.
One, that hits me a lot because I feel like I always have to fucking do that. Sorry. But two, not saying that, there aren't a lot of role models or a lot of great role models in my life. I had a lot of role models, but coming from an uncle, that really struck me the most because I have such a great relationship with my Uncle Frank right now.
What? You
And
are
I've always
related?
had- Yes, we're related.
What?
So that has always
If only this were a time hoodie.
but that has always struck me, and those lessons have always rung a chord with me as learning from someone who
Rung
is like the closest thing you could have to a father because he is your father's brother. It is someone like it is not that you're my father's brother. My father's brother is someone else, but he is my mother's brother. So he is the which that's how that works. I know. I'm going too much into.
Do you want my time hoodie?
It was just very emotional, especially the
Yeah.
first time through for me to watch and to reabsorb those lessons and to hear that coming from someone like that to me. Uncle Iroh is very much. Oh, it's so sad. It's so emotional for me, and I love that.
You know,
Love that.
I like that thought. I didn't necessarily gauge it. Like your
No, yeah.
my relationship, and now I feel bad because I should have.
No, you're good. You don't have to,
But I liked it because of the theme. If you're around Zuko's age, you immediately put yourself in Zuko's role,
right.
and how that all of that information is so important, especially if like something happens to Iroh, which something does, and I might not have that information. I might not have that person who cares about me, and I might not have those things around me. And who am I going to be? Because you're forming who you are, and some of the most sage advice you'll get is from unexpected places. I guess because I'm older than all of you, I now see it from Iroh's perspective too, and how when you have an accumulated amount of wisdom or a litany of mistakes or anything in between, you want to share that with those who you care about who are coming into those situations or just going through stages in life, so as to guide them in the way that they feel the most proud afterwards. He talks to him about his honor and about finding his true self, his true purpose, that kind of thing. And not just, this is what I want you to be, or who I think you should be, or how I see you, but seeing that you are gonna be good, whoever you're gonna be. And I like that. I just want you to be the best version of you. And I just want you to hit that goal for you.
Yeah.
And it makes that powerful because he doesn't have to do that. Even when you go to the end of things, it wasn't like that was his mom's like final like wish to Iroh or anything like that. She just wanted her son to be happy. So did his uncle.
Right.
It's a wonderful stand-in for that removal from his father, because we said this up top, we haven't even seen his face. As far as we're concerned, it's like Zuko hasn't seen the face of his father.
Yeah.
But he has seen the face of Iroh, who is like a father to him.
Right.
And that is a powerful impact on where Zuko's got to go.
And then
And,
touching,
I mean, honestly, it's where he goes in that. You can see all of that very deliberately, very delicately and intricately woven into his story, the rest of that arc in the book from that. And that's why I love that monologue so much, because it kind of curve the person he's becoming.
Yeah. And I think through this book, we definitely get to, I think out of almost all the relationships, that relationship is the one that shines. Even though we said that Uncle Iroh doesn't really have a huge character arc in this, we get that relationship definitely flourishes. We already talked about the moment where, Zuko and him meet again after they go their separate ways.
Right.
But there's also the fantastic, little bit where they're in the tea shop and he's like, hey, you can have a normal life and all these things. And then where he follows him into where Appa is, and he's like, oh, the blue spirit, and everything, like playing. He's
I've
like,
known
no,
it. Yeah.
no, like I know what's happening here. This is my advice to you. And it's just like, it shows that, Zuko thought, honestly, he probably thought and felt like he was alone, but and then his uncle always being whenever he's in need, whenever he thinks that his nephew isn't going to take a good choice, his uncle's always there, reliable. That's also something that really struck with me as well.
It makes that scene toward the end of this last episode so impactful because he has that choice of kind of staying or going with his sister, and then you end up seeing him with the sister, and you're like, how? I mean, spoilers. We've all seen this at least once, so we know how this ends. But you go, man, nothing is going the way you think it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I do like the first time through. I thought that was a big mistake because I wanted Zuko to follow his uncle.
Yeah, figure it out, be good.
Yeah, be good. But going back through, it almost sits with him as a teenager and as a boy still. He still wants to be with his original family. He still wants his own father to approve of him. And
He wants his honor.
He wants his honor. And the idea that, hey...
And this is still the definition of what his honor
Exactly.
is. Exactly. Yeah.
And I love that idea, especially now, going back and kind of watching it, because through your eyes as more of an adult, and, I'm an uncle.
Yeah.
Those teaching and those lessons still ring true to move that on and how you can approach that with someone younger than you, regardless of if they're related to you or not. You can just be like, look, it's not always going to work out and things are going to suck, but that's what builds who you are. And so that's what I really love about this season, as it, for me, what it taught me is like, you're going to fail and you're going to fall and things are going to crumble, but that's what also is going to build you up and teaching you how to rise above them,
Why do we fall, Master Wayne?
to pick ourselves up.
That's right. That's right.
Avatar.
Well,
What's the name of the show?
I think that's a great place to wrap it up. What did you think of book 2 of Avatar? Leave it in the comments below. Again, if you are new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell. We're going to keep releasing content and deep dives, and lore explain will be coming here soon too. So stick around. Stick around.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And if you have any comments about the different bendings that May and Topa Loki do, just put those in the comments as well, because I definitely saw them do so many bendings, like all of the bendings.
All the best.
They were doing so many bendings.
May and Topo Chico, like they were just.
They didn't bend. How did I not know this?
Well, thank you for watching. Stick around until next time.
Thank you for watching indeed.
Thank you. We need to end it here, guys. All right. See you guys.
I'm Frank Gonzalez.
I'm Winston Corona.
I'm Chris Tatum.
And I'm 50.